What are you doing over there? I don't want to do this show again. It's the same thing we did last week.
Just do the freaking show.
Hi. Looks like I gotta do this thing.
Just read the news, you big fat baby.
Last week wasn't enough, huh? You want more punishment? What else do you want? Okay, you guys want to know what goes on today. I'm going to do this properly for a few times, and once you get the hang of it, we'll just do it the other way. So today we've got some video game news. We've got an episode of Indie Watch. We need another camera so I can Next week, another camera, please. All right. We also have some, I already said video game news. Ooh, we've got some questions here, 3 or 4 questions to answer for Logan's inbox. Justin will be on here in a minute to talk about video game news in general. We've got some crazy science stuff happening and not much hardware news today. So if that's what you wanted, just go ahead and blow your brains out now. What? People are extreme. I'm going to be extreme if they're going to be extreme, and we'll see who's going to out-extreme. Well, I got an idea. Let's ban memes. They tried to do that in Spain. That turned into the Spain of pain. Not to be not to be rhymed with other things that rhyme with pain in Spain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. I think she's got it.
Over there, the Prime Minister, Mariano Rajoy, I guess some of his people or whatever, they thought, you know what? These whole memes and everything, that they're really mean. They should be called memes. But they're not. They're called memes. Anyway, he's like, we should probably ban these things because they're awful. Which, of course, when an old person does something and when an old person shows up and they're in charge and they're like, we don't understand this technology, so let's squash it. Well, all the people who do understand the technology and like to have a little bit of fun immediately go, oh, is this what you didn't want? You didn't want this, did you? Oh, whoops. I'm sorry, but did you want your face on an Ewok? I didn't understand what you wanted here. Did you perhaps want to be Edward Scissorhands? And did you want your scissors to... there's probably some political statement there. In Spain, do they speak Catalan or I know they speak Spanish in most of Spain. I'm not really exactly sure what's going to happen here. Because is this going to incite them? Or is it going to make him be like, okay. Sorry, we tried to step on your internet. We're not going to do that anymore. And there's been sort of a history in Spain of them not understanding the way things work, with them trying to, ban Google from posting news properly, and just all kinds of weird things have been going on over there. So if you're someone in Spain and is more on the ground than I am with this kind of stuff and knows what's actually happening, I would love an email from you because, of course, we're not getting... Why are we on the Daily Mail? Talk about some hardware really quick. There's not much to talk about, but this new Zotac Zbox EN1060 has been reviewed here by Ars Technica. And I'll probably be recommending this thing for a few reasons this year, but only to a few different people. So this thing has pretty decent specs. It'll be good for like a living room PC for light to decent gaming. It's got a 1060 mobile in it, which is not crazy, but it's good enough to play most games at 1080p. And as you can see, you got some pretty good specs here. Intel i5. So mainly going to be just a good media PC. But the price is $9.99. Now, here's what I'm going to recommend this, or who I'm going to recommend this to. People who, you guys you have a decent job. You're working at a network center or whatever, and you're making some money, and you know that you're not getting the best price to performance ratio here, but you're getting the form factor. You're getting something that's not going to be tacky. Maybe you've got a little bit of style. That's who's going to want to buy this thing. If you're someone who, wants way more bang for their buck, this is not what you get. You can go out and spend the exact same amount of money and get, twice to 3 times the performance. So that's one of the give and takes with a lot of these smaller units here, is that you are paying for the form factor and you're paying for the style, you're paying for the size, and, it's just really sleek instead of having to have like a bigger box. Now, I could probably build something that's a little bit bigger than this. It's quite a bit faster, and I'll try to do that. But these are going to be cool for people who just want something small in their living room and have the money to spend. So we'll be seeing more of these little bricks units and that sort of thing. And I guess also, this is one of the most powerful ones in this size that I've ever seen. So that's kind of cool to have something this small that's this powerful. But I don't know, over the next couple of years, I'm going to be watching these things because the price performance ratio is going to get a little bit better. It's never going to be as good as building your own. Well, not yet anyway, but it's going to be getting better. So keep an eye out for that. All right, China has created an artificial sun that's 3 times hotter than the real sun, and they've done so for about a minute. So these guys are on their way to fusion over there. They've been conducting lots of experiments, and earlier in the year they were able to do this, but it was only for a few seconds. This is burning at 50 million kelvins. That's a whole lot of kelvins. The sun is 15 million Kelvin on the old Kelvin scale there, so that's pretty ridiculous. If you guys want to really get into this article is kind of light on the details as far as how they did this. But yeah, man, they are doing some fusion. Fusing the atoms, the electrons are going crazy, and it's getting really freaking hot. One step closer to fusion. A lot of stuff going on in China this week. So we went from creating an artificial sun to discovering a new type of dinosaur. Now, first off, this is a dinosaur with feathers, which is interesting because everyone's always looking for, quote-unquote, the missing link. The missing links are weird because every time you find another link that's a missing link, you're like, oh, so we found this missing link. Now what went between this one and the last one? So it's kind of a weird thing. The evolution of things is like very gradual. So it's really hard to be like 1, 2, 3. No, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 and all that's on. So stop looking for missing links and let's just talk about the fact that this is a small dinosaur that was found. There was a feathered dinosaur, and this one happened to have lived around 70 million years ago, which is right when they thought the asteroid hit, which is, I don't know, when the aliens decided to blow us up or whatever was going on back then. We'll get to that later. But anyway, this little guy is kind of cool, and I guess this is just sort of another feather in the hat for the scientists who kept saying, like, hey, a lot of the dinosaurs probably did have feathers. Like, a lot of them were probably more bird-like. T-Rex was probably like a vulture because he was kind of a scavenger when you think about it, his ugly old face. What if he looked like a vulture? You ever think of that? Yeah, what if he wandered around like that? I don't know. Dinosaurs are cool, and they found them while excavating in China because that's what they do. They're always digging and excavating and building new buildings, and luckily they did not destroy this. Now, this one's only about the size of a lamb or a small donkey, they say, and that's kind of interesting because, thinking about just size in general, an emu. Have you ever gone down to the zoo and just looked at an emu for a while? If you can sit there and tell me that that's not a raptor, then I'll punch you right in this area here. That's how I win arguments. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. We still have dinosaurs among us. They're called emus. Okay, we have lots of animal news today, guys. About monkeys walking again. Now this one's actually really cool. So. In Switzerland, I believe it's Lausanne, at the University of Lausanne or whatever, they've been playing around with some monkeys and spinal columns. So normally when you have, like when you're a paraplegic, quadriplegic, something like that, there's a spot in your spine where the data is just not getting through. So it comes to your brain and goes down to your spine, and there's something there that's blocking it or stopping it or something that's fractured or out of place. So what this is doing is it's sort of taking the place of the spinal column, and it's trying to deliver the signals to the rest of the body. And it's kind of a complicated process. First off, they have to put an implant in your brain to receive the signal. So your brain says, hey, I want to do this. I really would like to do a cartwheel right now. And your spine's like, okay, we'd like to do a cartwheel. Going down the spine right here, it's like, nope, not doing anything. Stopped right there. So they put an implant somewhere in your back here, and that receives the signal. But, well, actually, no, it doesn't. The brain sends the signal to a computer. So you got a box of knowledge somewhere. Brain sends signal. Box of knowledge gets signal and tries to interpret it. So there's a lot of really complicated code going on here. It grabs a signal. It's like, okay, dude's thinking, I want to do a cartwheel. But we do have, technology where you can put stuff on your head and have your game character move around. But now it's getting advanced to the point where we can get, nuance and that sort of thing. So you think, it takes the action, and then it interprets that action. Then it spits it back to the module that's implanted somewhere in your spinal column or whatever, and then that sends signals out to your body and your nerves and your muscles and makes you do things. So they've been testing this in a monkey, and they've actually been able to, give him movement again. A paralyzed monkey can now walk again thanks to this technology. So that's really freaking cool. They are on their way to clinical trials, so... Can you imagine someone you love or know has been, hurt, been in a car wreck, can't walk anymore? Maybe one day in the near future, they'll be able to get an implant and they'll be able to move again. Motor functions restored. All right, I'm going to be wrong here. Can I be wrong? I know it's kind of sensitive to say things that may be construed as making fun of disabled people, but I'm not intending to do that. But there is something we need to think about here because this is technology and it is leaving here and going to a computer and then coming back. There's something here in the middle that worries me. The Internet of Things is incredibly insecure. How secure is this going to be? Do you think a hacker can go to like a convention where you have maybe 80, 90 people who have these implants, and they're like, oh my God, we can walk around again, and they're like drinking and stuff. Do you think you can show up and just sit in the back and be like, okay, unplanned dance party is about to happen? And he can jump in the middle and just be like, all right, all these people with the brain implants, it is time to get funky. And just load up funk dot, whatever it is, I don't know, exe, I'm not sure what it, MSI file, I don't know what kind of file it would be. DEB, what is this stuff running? I don't know. Anyway, he could just load that up, loading up funk, press enter, and then all of a sudden everyone is just like, ah! Am I going to hell? Yeah. Brad's over there like, he's already drafting the apology letter. Hey, listen, if everything's okay if I preface, like, I don't mean to be insensitive, but I'm going to be fucking insensitive right now. It's just like when someone's like, listen, man, I don't want to be a jerk, but I'm going to be a jerk, and then they say something that like, if they didn't preface it with that, you'd been like, God, you're a jerk. But since they prefaced it, they know they're a jerk. All of a sudden it's okay. No, I'm still insensitive, right? But no, that's a serious thing to think about. If you're offended, don't be. How's that? And if you don't like the fact that I just invalidated you, well, don't feel bad about that either. There, everything's fixed, right?
You just solved psychology for everyone.
I fixed it. Like, stop caring. Oh my God. Just stop being an idiot. There you go. Get over it. Everything's fixed. Got problems? Don't go lie in a chair and talk to somebody. Just get over it. Saturn's mysterious hexagon has changed from blue to gold. Now I know what's really happening, and we'll get to that in a second. But first off, let's go over the science of this. Saturn appears to be just changing seasons. They're not 100% sure that that's what's going on, but there's a giant hexagon, if you guys know, right here in the middle of Saturn, or so right in the middle of the pole of Saturn. And it looks like a giant storm that's been raging for a very long time. And the storm has a pressure system, and then all the different aerosols and that sort of thing can't come in there. But as the seasons change, maybe some of the pressure changes, and the orange can encroach upon that area. That's extremely scientific, what I just said. Let's talk about what has really been going on. All right, let's tie right into our next story. A lot of you guys out there are afraid of the Pentagon. What you need to be afraid of is the hexagon. The hexagon on Saturn. Because that's where they're controlling the simulation. Now, let's talk about this simulation for a minute, because we all are probably living in a simulation. In fact, Elon Musk says that there's maybe a 1 in a billion chance that we are not in a simulation right now. So how in the hell could we possibly be in a simulation? How are we in some sort of a Matrix type world? Well, he said that as time goes on and our technology gets better and better, we should be able to create a simulation of the universe. And some scientists recently gave some credence to his ideas when they created a simulation of the universe, and it works very similarly to the universe that we have here. But listen, we've only been playing around with technology for what, since like the 70s, 80s, 90s, I don't know, like really, really playing around with it. Let's say, okay, maybe 100 years of playing with technology. What is on my head right now? Tinfoil. Oh, right. Oh, good. Thank you for that. I just knew that this was important for some reason. So we've only been playing with technology for like 100 years. Let's say 10,000 years in the future, where's our ability going to be? We've got AI that's way smarter than we are. We've got computer games that are completely, just completely real. You can't distinguish them from reality. And at that point, could we create something with AI involved in it? Lots of different entities that are self-aware. Are we self-aware? What do we really know? That's enough of this crap. All right, you guys can go all over the place with that. I was just having a little bit of fun, but it is kind of interesting that they've created that. But it just, where are we going to be in 20 years? But where are we going to be in 10,000 years? And then could someone have already beaten us to this? And are we in their simulation? And if so, are they inside a simulation from someone else? I know where the simulation started. I forgot about that. Started in the hexagon on Saturn. So number 6. Hex. That is the number of imperfection, which is what we are. We're an imperfect simulation. They knew. But how are they controlling the simulation from Saturn, which is inside their simulation of the universe? They're controlling the simulation from within the simulation. That is the point of contact with the next world. Hats off, everybody. All right, it's enough of that conspiracy nonsense. Let me know what you guys think of it. Of course, it's all just a bit of fun, but it is kind of fun to joke around about these ridiculous theories out there and just go all out.
Do you ever think about the fact that the brain is the most sophisticated piece of technology according to the brain? Just saying.
I wonder if people would like an entire segment of fake conspiracy theories.
Oh my God, would they? Can we
Called
just keep this
Tinfoil
part of-
Tuesdays.
Do you guys want a Tinfoil Tuesdays?
Tinfoil Tuesdays.
Tinfoil Tuesdays.
I can manufacture these things all day. It's very easy.
Half price PBR. Tinfoil Tuesdays.
That stuff is loaded with GMOs from experimental corn. All right, guys, we're going to talk about some gaming. And guess what is having a new Genesis?
The Sega Genesis is back in Brazil. So the console is like super duper popular in Brazil. It's still been going strong and everything like that, to the point now that Tectoy has got the official go-ahead and blessing from Sega to actually reproduce the Sega Genesis. The company Tectoys is actually going to be remaking the Sega Genesis, and they're going to be calling them the Sega Mega Drive. Sega Mega. And they've actually got the blessing from Sega to do it. So this is going to be an officially licensed Sega product. It's going to be pretty much identical to the original Genesis, except it's going to have an SD card slot in it.
Awesome.
Which is super cool. So you can emulate and stuff on it. It's going to have all the AV cables and everything that you need to be able to run through it and everything like that. And it's going to come preloaded with an SD card in it that has like 22 games or something on it already to start, which is really cool, including Golden Axe 3, which is awesome.
But it seems
And
like
Altered Beast.
Altered Beast.
Power up.
It seems like it's already going to be... I mean, since it has the SD card... They mentioned in here, but they didn't, say 100%, but they said that, with the SD card, you should be able to use, ROMs and that sort of thing, but I don't know if that's going to be an official thing or not, or if you have to get ROMs from Sega, or how that's going to work, but it'd be cool if it just... worked with ROMs. If you've already owned the box title of it somewhere in your closet, you can download a ROM. It's probably faster than going to find the damn box in your closet, dusting it off, and then hoping the console or the cartridge works. It's not a Nintendo, at least.
I mean, we're not saying emulate for free again on another episode of something.
We're not letting say this. The FCC is going to get us.
Oh, those guys.
Oh, and the DCMIR car associates just a bunch of you make up any initialism, and that's who's going to get us. They're going to get
The
us.
HDMI's.
The HDMI is getting us.
Going to get us.
Speaking of HDMI, there is no HDMI on this. That's kind of a letdown. But in Brazil, it's not too big of a deal because a lot of people are still using the AV cables. But I really wanted HDMI. If we were going to get one of these for the office, to plug up to the projector.
You can get an AVI HDMI convert for pretty easy though.
Yeah,
it's
you
not
can.
that big of a deal.
I wanted to make a big deal out of something.
I'm kind of wondering though, what the actual cartridges are, because it didn't say anything really about cartridge production or anything.
The production, right?
Right. So I'm wondering if they're going to actually reissue all these cartridges and stuff like that, or if it's going to be just you still got to find them places, folks. I'm kind of wondering, or if they're just going to be releasing SD cards that have tons of collections on them or something.
I would put $100,000 down right now and think that it's going to be 99% SD cards because they are so much cheaper to manufacture than the big bulky cartridges that have the the PCB and everything inside. You've got a tiny little wafer inside your SD card, but
Well, if we ever get one back, I have Altered Beast sitting over there just waiting on the off chance that a Sega Genesis comes back in.
Oh my God, Altered Beast is with us.
Yes.
My heart is warmed. All right. Speaking of warm hearts, let's talk about GTA. So GTA Online is going the Tron route.
Yeah, GTA. So the new Deadline mode in GTA, which is a 4-player Tron motor battle using Nagasaki Shotaro, I think it's pronounced. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Someone will let me know in the comments that I'm pronouncing something wrong. Please do. Because I love being told when I'm wrong, especially by randos online.
Oh man,
that's
awesome.
the best.
That maneuver was amazing.
Yeah, look at that, guys. So Grand Theft Auto has a game where you're doing spinny, crazy stuff and riding around on these bikes and playing through Tron. Grand Theft Auto Legacy.
I guess the goal is here to cut people off. Like right here, he's going to land, and you want your light trail to block their path, and then they blow up.
Yes,
that looks like a ton of fun.
Just like in For Real's Tron, like in the historical.
I never saw Tron.
You've never seen Tron?
I've never seen Tron.
What?
I don't know.
Or Tron Legacy?
No.
Well, Tron Legacy was. Nah.
Did not see
But
Tron.
you didn't see Tron? Speaking of Tron, Blizzard has announced a Necromancer.
We're working on our transitions, guys.
We're gonna have
to transition into some better transitions.
Awkward segue there. Blizzard has announced that they are going to be releasing a new character for Diablo 3. It is the Necromancer, which is a callback to the Necromancer from Diablo 2 that was one of the most popular classes. It's going to have all kinds of like the classic powers like Bone Spear and the ability to summon up skeletons and things like that, and you know, all kinds of other bone related things. So I mean, it's generally so far people have been, you know, seeing this and being like, well, what the fuck, Blizzard? Like, that's the best you have to offer us after 2 years is a character class that's already existed previously and like some, you know, quality of life upgrades and stuff and things like that. I mean, generally people are kind of just upset, especially because the Necromancer is going to be something that you have to pay for. It's not just like if you already have the game and everything, you're going to need to, you're going to just get it for free as like a DLC or anything like that. You actually have to pay the $10 or whatever to get the Necromancer. So basically there's a lot of salt right now in the reviews and the forums about this because everyone's kind of like, that's it? Just a fucking Necromancer? Whatever. Gotta get Necromancers every day, son.
Speaking of other games, if you guys are looking for something else to play,
yeah,
why don't we go over to IndieWatch and see what Pistol has to recommend?
That's a great idea. You guys, Pistol has something to talk to you about. Pistol! Over to you, Pistol.
That was a ridiculous...
The game featured in this episode is titled Agony. It is a survival horror set in hell developed by Mad Mind Studio. It is not for the sensitive, easily offended, or easily disgusted. The gore levels are very high. What made this game stand out to me is that it is not afraid to get really fucked up. For example, a pregnant woman with her stomach ripped open and a baby dangling out. This particular depiction of hell is probably the most hellish we've seen. From what I've gathered, the basic premise of the game is you've been sent to hell, which is designed like a maddening maze, and you're trying to find a way out. You're surrounded by many demons and humans in agony. If you die in your journey, you become a spirit in which you float around looking for a new shell of a human to possess, sometimes even a demon. The graphics look great, the sound effects immerse you, the atmosphere and lighting are executed beautifully. The game features some puzzles and problem solving, usually with an occult theme. It allows you to use your mind and doesn't seem to be overly hand-holding. The devs are located in Poland, and Poland has a pretty good track record for releasing well-made games. Overall, I find this game to be very creative and unique. It is refreshing for me when a game steps out of bounds and isn't just trying to appeal to everyone. The Kickstarter ends December 9th, and the estimated release is Q2 2017 for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
We all like tech. Why not get a .tech domain? If you go over to get.tech, you can use coupon code CRIT1 to get 1 year for $3.99, and use coupon code CRIT10 to get 10 years for only $49.99. They've sold 200,000 so far, so run over and grab your .tech domain right now. Woo! All right. Now we've got a few questions here. If you guys want to send me questions, you can do that. Inbox at crit.tv. Ask me pretty much anything you want to ask me. It can be about technology. It can be about games. It can be about music. It can be about your love life. It can be about travel. It can be about food. It can be about snorkeling. I've never really liked snorkeling. I'll answer your questions about anything you send me. Maybe. This one I don't even know about. This is just an apology letter. And it's from Ellie. Hutch took my account as ransom until I made a letter of apology, so here goes. Hutch! What the hell, dude? He's got his headphones on. All right, I'm sorry for spreading theories about Hutch 1 and Hutch 2 being the same person. Who's Hutch 2? You're Hutch 2?
I think so.
All right, so Justin is Hutch 2. Being the same person, I realized I was jealous of their greatness. I am also sorry for trying to force Hutch 1 to retweet me aesthetic memes. I shouldn't have, and it was wrong by me. I'm also sorry for making Hutch 1 run an aesthetic meme. All right. Also, on behalf of Discord, we're sorry that we made fun of Logan. We didn't know he was actually a CGI character being rendered in a single 1080 God-given NVIDIA card. If we had known he wasn't rendered in SLI, we wouldn't have made fun of his bugging in FPS. Yeah, I'm gonna need this. Yes, sir. Boy, you're in some territory right now. We will work on improving these things until next week. On behalf of myself, I am also sorry for Pumpkin It's? What is Pumpkin It's? Pumpkin It's. I don't know what that is. What? Pumpkins don't have mammary glands. Memories of this episode shall fade, Ellie. All right, this one's from Leo. 2 L's Leo. Leo. So you talk a lot about drones. Will you show us more about drones? Do you own any drones? Will you try some wacky stuff with drones? Well, I don't want to drone on a lot about this, but can someone get me the damn drone? This thing just flew over here. There we go. 4K drone we have now. This is the X-Star, just like the monitor. There it is. And it's made by a company called something that starts with an A. I forgot. I don't know. You guys will see a review on this in a couple of days, and we'll be using this for some of our videos and possibly some of our fun narrative content that we're planning out and scripting and who knows, some skits and things. But this could be fun to fly by and watch zombies eat people and stuff like that, don't you think? Yeah. So we'll have a video on that coming pretty soon, and we'll start using that. That was sent to us for review, and so we didn't use any money buying that, but... the fact that someone sent it to us does not mean we're going to give them a good review just to say thanks. We'll look at it seriously. I can already tell you right now, it looks amazing. Got a nice gyro on it. It does not have the greatest dynamic range, but it looks pretty damn good, and it comes in 4K. All right, next up, speaking of 4K, is next question from Chris. Hey Logan, I just bought a budget 4K TV and the stock speakers are really terrible. I watched your videos on budget speaker setups, but I am not sure how well these setups would work for watching movies and TV shows. Your thoughts on budget home theater setups? Love the new show. Thanks, Chris. Okay, Chris, I'm going to use your question as an example. I'm going to try to answer a little bit, but there's not a lot you can do as far as budgets go. You may want to get just like one of those nice center channel speakers. You can grab one of those and just get like, they're like the speaker bar. That'll be a boost in sound, but you're not going to get much bass out of that, and it's not really going to do, it'll do more than your television. Some of them are surprisingly okay, but if you really want to get a full-on setup, that's going to cost you some money. You're going to need to get satellite speakers. 5.1 is probably just as good as 7.1. Some people like the extra speaker in the middle to get the full, sound of the helicopter going all the way around you. But if you really want to spend extra for 2 extra speakers, go ahead. I really like some of the stuff from Fluence. They make really nice sounding speakers. You can get just like a center channel speaker and a couple of speakers and a bass for now, and then add 2 more in the back later on. Start with that. Center channel is going to be really important for dialogue. For bass speakers, it's kind of fun to mix and match if you're on an extreme budget. Polk Audio has some really good 10-inch subwoofers. You can use one of those. Those are powered. I believe they're like 100 watt, maybe 200. I don't know. And then as far as your amps go, this is also, it's all about your budget. So if you can afford like a Yamaha for like $400, those are pretty good. But let me just speak to this. If you're going to write me a question that's this broad, please tell me how much you can spend. Say like, hey, I need a new graphics card. I want to play, and tell me what you want to do with it. What you want to do with it, how much you can spend. For all the future questions, that would be amazing. Then it would be very easy to give you good answers. And I can even, if I'm not a pro on certain things, I can even call someone and try to get the best answers for you. So anyway, for you, I need to know how much you can spend and what exactly you want to do with it. Do you want to just, like watch lectures, or do you want to watch movies, or do you want to play video games? If you've got a graphics card, what games do you want to play, and how much can you spend? That's basically it. And it's also maybe good to know if you have a FreeSync or a G-Sync monitor, then I can recommend AMD or NVIDIA accordingly, but that's just how it works. So anyway, give me as much information as you can when you're asking technical questions, and I will try to do my best for you guys. We will do a standalone Logan's Inbox video very soon. We'll have a lot of fun with it. Inbox at Crit TV. Hit me up, or I will knock you up. Does that mean like hit him around the head, right? Yeah, I'm gonna. No. Yeah, that's fighting, right? You knocked this guy up last night, right? Saw him downtown, giving me lips. So I knocked him up. Just like whoop. Yep, whoop. That's how you hit somebody. Whoop. So yeah, listen, huh? You guys want to get knocked up, huh? Come on over here. I'll knock you up with these. Oh. Think about that. Just think about that for a minute. Now, here's what's going to happen if you guys don't subscribe to this channel and like the freaking video. If you don't, well, I'm going to show up in my mudding SUV car. It's actually a station wagon bus van, but it's in the shape of a car. It's really big. I'm going to show up in that thing with the biggest mudding tires you've ever seen, and it's got an oil leak like no car ever. We're talking like you have to pour oil in it while you're driving. I'm going to drive sideways in your lawn for 45 minutes while honking and throwing chickens. And if the cops come, I didn't think this through. If the cops come, they'll just have to try to catch me. That's the end of this video, guys. See ya. Click on stuff over here. We got some awesome new t-shirts coming very soon. Maybe some new shots. Maybe some new pixel art with Gabe Newell on it, or maybe it's maybe some new ASCII art. If you guys have ideas for shirts, let me know. If we use any of your shirts in the store, I throw you $100. If we use your idea and not your design, $50. So always head over to the forum with your t-shirt ideas, and yeah, that's it. Let us know what you think of the new logo. I think it's pretty minimal and cool. Oh, one more thing before we go. One more thing. The Burning Earth logo is not going away, guys. Everyone keeps asking, what's going on with the Burning Earth logo? The Burning Earth logo never was the Tech Syndicate logo. It's always been the Burning Earth or the Raise the World logo. I'm going to throw that on everything I do and on everything we do. It's just our mark. That's it. It's freaking awesome. It's a Burning Earth logo, and it's been designed by Travis Smith, who's a guy who designed lots of album covers for bands like Opeth and Slayer, Metallica, and all kinds of different bands. Lots of black metal bands, but the bigger bands are like Slayer and Metallica. Yeah, you guys have seen some of his work in those, but he was nice enough to design that for us for pay. He was nice enough to do this for us after we paid him. So yeah. Anyway, see you guys in the comments, and check out the new website. Get over there. And the Discord, that thing's hopping. Biggest Discord on the internet. Nope. Maybe. See ya.
Save the drama for your mama.